How's your day going? I'm Linda. This is Lilybug's Library, and we're going to talk today about going on vacation. And I know you're saying, Linda, I can't afford to go on vacation. The economy's a mess. Things aren't good. We need to save money. Yes, we do. But we can go on vacation through books. So that's what we're doing. We're going to Europe. So this is my July TBR, and I hope you'll join me for some of it, and maybe we can all go on vacation together. So the first one is by Carla Neggers, and I never know if I'm pronouncing her name right, but I think that's correct. And it's called Widow. And in this one, we're going to Ireland. So I'll read you a little bit about it if Dudley will let me. So it says, 4 days after Abigail Browning's wedding, her life changed unimaginably. Her husband was fatally killed. Was it a random act of violence, or could someone have wanted Christopher dead? That's the question that has haunted Abigail, who's now a homicide detective for the past 7 years. Determined to find her husband's killer, she returns to the foggy Maine island after receiving an anonymous tip. Now, I'm assuming, since this series is called the Ireland series, that the main island is someplace in Ireland and not Maine, but we'll see. Is it just another false lead, or can she finally prove that Christopher was murdered? Owen Garrison, the search and rescue worker who located Chris too late to save him, still carries guilt from that fateful night. As he helps Abigail unravel the mystery, they learn that the layers of deceit and lies are even thicker than they could have imagined. So that one sounds really good. The next one, we are going to Great Britain. And this one is called Of Ink and Sky. And it says, the Bristol Sea divides Cornwall and Wales and sings an enticing tale to Sienna Rothsay, a British-born, American-raised photographer. Since childhood, she's fought the temptation of its siren song, with only broken bones and scars to show for giving in to the whispers of the waves. Scorned by her family for her injuries, she confides in her adoring grandfather, the lone family member who hears the music with Sienna. When an enigmatic neighbor from her British days calls her home to help with her failing grandfather, Sienna is faced with an old myth that hints at a nefarious secret, linking her ancestors with Ione's, her neighbors. As her grandfather's mind deteriorates, he obsesses over the siren song. Time slips away as Sienna rushes to solve the puzzle before her grandfather dies, burying the secrets with him. That sounds really good, too. And the next one is England. So we're getting around. We've gone to Ireland, we're going to Great Britain, now we're going to England. And this one is Barefoot in Hyde Park. And it says, Lillian Burkhart could not be more different from her half-sister Wilhelmina. She struggles against the wildness inside of her, trying desperately to be the proper young woman that Miss Euphemia Darrow has reared her to be. But when she's discovered walking barefoot in Hyde Park by none other than the grandson of the elderly Dowager Duchess, who employs her as a companion, her failure is complete. Lord Valentine Summers, Viscount Seaburn... I'm trying to do this, and Dudley is racing around the apartment. He's got the zoomies, and he's just everywhere. So if you hear noise, that's what's going on. Lord Valentine Summers, Viscount Seaburn, has been playing a part for so long that he no longer recognizes himself. As a soldier, he'd risked life and limb. Now as a spy for Whitehall, he's risking his very soul by using his skills with cards to gain entry to circles he wants no part of. Feigning the ennui of a debauched dilettante who treats women and money as if they were both in unending supply, he's immediately struck by the beauty, vivacity, and innocence of a lovely barefoot nymph, who happens to be his grandmother's companion. Given an ultimatum by his grandmother, marry or be disinherited, Val offers for Lillian on a whim, and she accepts in order to claim her own familial bequest. But theirs isn't a normal engagement, not when someone keeps trying to murder his betrothed. That one sounds excellent, too. So the next one is Scotland, and just take a look at this cover. It is so beautiful. So it's called Like the Break of Dawn, and it's Scotland, starts in Scotland 1801. And for those of you who are Scottish and actually live in Scotland and maybe can pronounce these things, I apologize, but I'll do my best. Yvain McKeener's world is turned upside down when she is transported back in time to medieval Scotland and into the middle of a decades-long feud between the rival MacLure and McCarmig clans. Thrust into an unfamiliar world where she's now the long-lost daughter of the cold and ruthless MacLure chieftain, Yvain must fight to reconcile her identity, resist her father's attempts to marry her off for political gain, and find a way back to the idyllic island home and family she's left behind. When she encounters Caelan, the handsome son of the McCarmig chieftain, forbidden feelings ignite between them, despite the long and bloody history dividing the clans. As danger and betrayals threaten them from all sides, Yvain and Caelan find themselves willing to sacrifice everything for love and peace. Sounds kind of like a Scottish Romeo and Juliet, so that sounds good. The next one is by Rhys Bowen, and it's called The Venice Sketchbook, so now we're in Italy. Says Caroline Grant is struggling to accept the end of her marriage when she receives an unexpected bequest. Her beloved great-aunt Letty leaves her a sketchbook, 3 keys, and a final whisper, Venice. Caroline's quest to scatter Juliet Letty Browning's ashes in the city she loved and to unlock the mysteries stored away for more than 60 years. And then it goes back to 1938. When art teacher Juliet Browning arrives in romantic Venice, for her students it's a wealth of history, art, and beauty. For Juliet, it's poignant memories and a chance to reconnect with Leonardo da Rossi, the man she loves whose future is already determined by his noble family. However star-crossed, nothing can come between them until the threat of war closes in on Venice and they're forced to fight, survive, and protect a secret that will bind them forever. All these star-crossed lovers. I didn't even plan that. So that's interesting. The next one is France. And this one is called The Innkeeper on the Edge of Paris. So it says it's 3 years after Isa's divorce, and her life has become stagnant. She longs to see the world. While searching the internet, she is drawn to a centuries-old inn on the outskirts of Paris. To the shock of her family and colleagues at the elementary school where she's the librarian, she announces that she is quitting her job and buying a one-way ticket to France. Oh, doesn't everybody want to do that at some point? You know, like when things get hard and life is crazy, isn't there some part of you that just wants to say, that's enough, and buy a one-way ticket to France or wherever, and away you go. With me, it's Tuscany. I've always wanted to go to Tuscany. So I think if I was buying a one-way ticket to anywhere, it would probably be Tuscany, which I know nothing about except for what I see in all the romance movies. She does not expect her new life to begin with meeting the inn's resident ghost, a doppelganger of herself. Nor does she expect to meet the inn's only other guest, a handsome Scotsman named Daniel, who is determined to help her discover what the ghost's appearance means. The innkeeper, Claire, calls it destiny. That sounds interesting, a doppelganger ghost. And then the last one is a little different. It is actually a nonfiction book, and if you have good geography, you realize that Europe does not just contain the places I said, but a lot more countries as well. But I don't have any books from some of those countries. So we're going to go with a nonfiction book that covers it all. So this one is called The World Walk. The invigorating true story of a man who circled the globe on foot. After the death of a close friend at 17, Tom, I apologize if I get the last name wrong, Turchik, resolved to make the most out of life, to travel and to be forced into adventure, to experience and understand the world. On April 2nd, 2015, he sets out to see it all, one step at a time. The World Walk is an emotional and exhilarating story of the 10th person and first dog to walk around the world. Together, Turchik and his dog, Savannah, cover 28,000 miles over the course of 7 years, through deserts, jungles, cities, and mountains. Turchik meditated on what's important in life and took lessons from cultures around the globe. Rarely has there been a true life tale of such scope. From sheltered suburbanite to world traveler, Turchik's epic account runs the full, I assume that should be gamut, although it seemed to have left out a word. He is held up at knife point in Panama and gunpoint in Turkey, wanders deep within himself in the deserts of Peru, watches a democracy fortify itself in Georgia, and takes it all in with his resolute companion Savannah by his side. His growth spans the most basic elements of surviving, on the finding food, water, and safe places to camp, to humanity's more noble aspirations, such as the benefits of democracy, the search for love, and the weighing of personal significance. So that one I'm really excited about. I think it sounds really good. I can't even imagine walking basically around the globe. So I'm sure he had a lot of adventures. So I'm curious what it is that, which one you like out of those, whether you think some of them would be really good. So yeah, I'm excited to get started. I'm excited to, take our trip to Europe. Today though, it's super hot and I'm just kind of doing my best to chill. I've got the air conditioning on. I've got some homemade iced tea. And we'll see where the day takes me. So I hope you're having a great day. And I hope you have a one-way ticket to somewhere exciting. Or even a two-way ticket, a return ticket. And if not, I hope that you get a chance to read some of these books with me this coming month. All right, talk to you soon. Bye-bye.